Hi, Ben here from Somerset Foodie. We're filming this during our second lockdown when all the pubs and restaurants and high street eateries are all shut. So we're going to try and bring to you one of the favourite Wagamama dishes that our kids go for every single time we go there. Chicken katsu. It's brilliantly simple to make, it tastes lovely, and with a few of our secret ingredients. So we've got some katsu chicken paste, we've got panko breadcrumbs. Now, not everyone will know about panko breadcrumbs, but they absolutely make the difference for your breaded chicken. Some lovely coconut milk, and yeah, it's going to be delicious. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is just finely chop up an onion. So we need a pan on the heat that's nice and big like that, and I'm going to just put a little bit of fossil chili oil in because I quite like a little bit of chili heat in my katsu. So in with the onions. So we just want to sweat these onions down in this chili oil. If you can use normal rapeseed oil if you don't want the chili heat, but we're just going to cook these for a couple of minutes just to start going a little bit translucent. So whilst the onions are just sweating down nicely, we can just start prepping the chicken up. So I've got 3 fillets, so they all come in random various sizes, and we're just going to breadcrumb these, but we're going to season them up first. Now, to make them cook a bit quicker, I'm literally just going to slice them through in half so we get thinner fillets that are going to just cook quicker. We're just going to season these chicken fillets with salt and pepper. Going to pat that in and then do that on both sides. They can now just sit there and wait until we come to breadcrumbing them shortly. So the onions have sweated down nicely, they're nice and translucent. Time to add in our curry paste. So it's really just a smallish tablespoonful per person, really. And we just now need to start frying this paste down with these onions. So our paste has been simmering away quite nicely with the onions. We can do this for about 4 or 5 minutes. Now we're just going to make up a little bit of chicken stock to add into there. I'm using our new Essential Cuisine chicken stock. I've worked with these guys for the best part of 15 years, and I have to say their stocks and jus and gravies are pretty much the best I've ever come across. You'll notice they're in a powder, so they're really easy to dissolve. When you get a cube or anything like that, they've been emulsified with fat to make them into a cube, so we get much less fat in these, and there's much less salt. It's just a flavour of chicken, which is brilliant. So I don't need very much, so I've used half a teaspoon into the jug, boiling water, and a little gentle stir. That's ready. So just in with the chicken stock and mix that through. So once the stock's gone up to simmer, now it's time to add in the coconut milk. We're using our fantastic coconut milk that's absolutely beautifully creamy. And the whole can goes in. So this is now just simmering nicely. We'll just let that reduce down and cook that out for about 15 minutes until everything thickens up and the flavours are just perfect. So whilst that sauce is simmering away, we can now just breadcrumb our chicken. So a few little tips when it comes to breadcrumbing chicken. Get 3 bowls or 3 trays. I've got 2 trays in a bowl. Have it all ready, and you just want to get one hand wet and keep one hand dry. So basically straight in with the flour, with the chicken, in through the egg, and then onto your breadcrumbs, and then with your dry hand, you can dust the breadcrumb over the top. Now these breadcrumbs, these Japanese breadcrumbs, they're absolutely the best thing for breadcrumbing these chickens. They've been dehydrated, and the way they're the way they're cut just means that you just get the crispiest, beautiful breadcrumbs. So we can breadcrumb those up now. So these are now finished breadcrumbing them. They can just sit in the pan. We've got the sauce on the go. Just need to get the rice cooking. So we'll just use our basic basmati rice. And cooking rice couldn't be simpler if you just follow a couple of really key things. 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, lid on, and if your rice is good and you've given it a nice wash and soaked it a little bit, you will get a brilliant result. So my 2 cupfuls of water have just come to a boil. I've added a little bit of salt. I've been soaking the rice, I've just given that a drain, and in that goes. Give it a little stir. Lid on, forget about it. 10 minutes. So rice in, it's now just time to start frying off the chicken. So get a pan nice and hot. I'm using my favourite rapeseed oil. You don't have to, I mean this is deep frying, but you don't need a lot of oil. You can just have a nice shallow pan of oil. So that's nice and hot, and I can put the chicken in, remember, to away from you like that, so your chicken doesn't splash all over you. A little shake, and just let that crisp up on each side. So whilst that's cooking away, we've got the oven on about 180, because we can cook this in batches and then just finish it off in the oven. So that's just been on literally for about a minute. We can just give that a little turn over. We're just getting the most perfect crispy chicken. I'm going to give it another minute on the other side. So just seal those off, they're lovely and golden, but we can just poke them in the oven now until the rice is cooked, and they just want to finish cooking through so the chicken's cooked for about 4 or 5 minutes. So that sauce has thickened up nicely, it's been cooking away for about 15 minutes. We're just going to finish it with a little bit of soy sauce. So just a tablespoon of soy sauce in just as a seasoning. So classic Katsu sauce should be nice and silky and smooth. So what we've got to do with our sauce is just strain out those onions. So just get another pan and we're just going to sieve through the sauce. You can see that beautiful Katsu sauce. So rice is cooked. So you should never really have to drain rice. Or what you can see with good quality rice that we sell, Dr. Nature, there's no water left in that pan, and that is beautifully fluffy. You can see the grains are separating really nicely, and that's perfectly ready to go. So the chicken has now been in the oven for 3 or 4 minutes, and that's nicely cooked through, and that can just sit there for a minute or two just to rest before we plate up. Right, so everything's cooked. It's time to get it on the plate. So we can start out with a nice pile of rice. And then you don't have to, but I'm just gonna carve this chicken. We can have let's have a little pile of leaves on the side of the plate, and then the all-important sauce. Oh yeah, that is going to be amazing. We'll just finish with a couple of spring onions. There we go, folks. There is a Wagamama classic Katsu chicken with ingredients from Somerset Foodie. The full recipe is on our website, and those key ingredients you'll find there too. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.